How many pyramids do you think exist on Earth? 10, maybe 20. Egypt and Mexico, and that is about it. No, over 1,000. More than 1,000 pyramids. On every single continent on Earth except Antarctica. Egypt, Mexico, China, Peru, Indonesia, Sudan, Cambodia. Built by people who had no boats fast enough to cross the oceans between them. No shared language. No way of knowing the other civilizations even existed. And they all built the same shape. Exactly the same shape. Same proportions. Same alignments with the stars. Same internal chambers. In the same positions. So here's the question nobody really asks out loud. How is that possible? Because there are only two answers. Either the human brain independently invents the same shape everywhere on the planet, with zero contact, or they all knew something about this shape, about what it does, something we have forgotten, or that someone decided we did not need to know. Let's start with the one everyone thinks they know, the Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt. Built around 2,500 years before the Common Era, you have been told it is a tomb, built for a pharaoh named Khufu. Here is the problem with that. No body has ever been found inside it. Not damaged, not stolen, not moved somewhere else. Never found. The king's chamber was empty when the first explorer opened it in 820 AD. Empty. And the sarcophagus had no lid. That is not a robbed tomb. Robbed tombs have traces. Broken objects. Signs that someone came and took things. This one has none of that. Now let's talk about the building itself. Because the numbers are something else, the Great Pyramid is aligned to true north with an accuracy of 0.05 degrees, the four corners of the base. Across an area bigger than 10 football fields, a level to within 2.1 centimeters. Try that. Today, 2.3 million blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, to finish in 20 years. One block every 2 minutes, day and night. When you ask engineers how, the honest ones all say the same thing. We do not know. Now, something happened in 2023. Scientists used a technology that works like an X-ray for stone. Particles from space pass through solid rock, and they found a hidden space, 9 meters wide, at least 30 meters long, sitting directly above the main corridor, completely sealed. Nobody has been inside it. The Egyptian authorities announced they would explore it. That was 2023. It has not been opened. I am not saying someone is hiding something, but nobody has answered that question, and it deserves an answer. Now let's talk about the curse, because this is the part most people think they already know, and most people have it completely wrong. Inside several sealed Egyptian tombs, researchers found ancient mold, preserved in the sealed environment for thousands of years. Specific species that produce compounds toxic to humans when breathed in. A biological trap. Still active, thousands of years after it was placed there. Not supernatural. Something more impressive than that. A civilization that understood biology for 1,000 years before the word existed. In 2018, physicists modeled the Great Pyramid. And they found that the shape concentrates electromagnetic energy inside specific chambers. The angle -51 degrees is the mathematical sweet spot. The builders chose that exact angle by accident, or because they already knew exactly what they were building. Now, here is where it gets bigger than Egypt. The Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan in Mexico has a base perimeter almost identical. And underneath the Pyramid of the Moon at the same site, archaeologists found a tunnel in 2004. Inside, liquid mercury, an enormous amount of it, pulled in chambers, creating a reflective surface that in torchlight would have looked exactly like an underground lake. Beneath the pyramid, in the middle of Mexico, in China, over 100 pyramids, pointing at the same stars as the Egyptian ones. In Indonesia, the Gunung Padang site. Research suggests parts of it may be 25,000 years old. In Sudan, over 200 pyramids. In Peru, the pyramids of Kerl, 5,000 years old. Same shape, same alignment, different continent, and when you plot these sites on a map, several of them sit on the same invisible line to place structures on that line with that precision. You need to know the exact circumference of the Earth. Official history says humans could not do that until the 18th century. These structures predate that by thousands of years. And here is the one I genuinely cannot get out of my head. The Great Pyramid sits almost exactly at the center of all the land. To know where to build it, you need to know the complete geography of every continent. In 2500 BC, these people did not know Australia existed, did not know the Americas existed, and yet someone told them exactly where to build the Sphinx. A geologist named Robert Schoch spent years studying the erosion patterns on its body. His conclusion: the marks on the stone were not caused by wind and sand, they were caused by rain. Heavy rain. That would place the construction of the Sphinx at least 9,000 years ago, long before the pharaohs. Seismic studies found cavities beneath the front pause tunnels. A researcher asked for permission to excavate, and the answer was no. I'm not saying I know what happened, but the evidence points somewhere that the official version of history does not go. They are a message, written in stone, pointing at stars that tell a story we are still learning to read. Whoever sent that message knew it would take a long time before the right people found it. They were patient, and we are just beginning to understand what they left behind. Not yet. Understood does not mean not there. Tell me in the comments, what do you think the pyramids were actually built for? Your honest answer. Because I read every single one. Subscribe if you want to keep going deeper. Every week we open a file that history left closed. See you in the deep.